Welcome to Freezer Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Podcast where we talk about the comedic side and serious side of parenting, life, and relationships. We are boy parents. We have two boys, Enzo and Rhett, with about a 6-year age gap between the two. You can check out our website, freezermilk.com. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Freezer Milk Podcast. Thanks and hope you enjoy. Welcome back. Another week. Do you believe we have over 20 episodes already?
Huh. Feels like we've done this forever.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So this week we thought we would dive into hopes and dreams and goals and frustrations of like building the life that we want.
What that entails, such as work and priorities, and I don't know, we've been stuck in a rut with work. I think both of us have, because we're kind of been stressing ourselves out over our jobs, and our jobs are wearing, I think.
Yeah, I think that our jobs both are more stressful than we want to maintain for the long term.
Absolutely. Oh, and I think one of the things that this pandemic has shown us is that we like to build our own schedules. Mm-hmm. And we like to have more time for family, and we like the fact that we're both working from home. And
so if we want to go grab a lunch date, we could.
Yeah, and we get to see our son every day. Mm-hmm. We like the freedoms of being able to work from home, but we've also noticed that we work more now. For somebody else, we work more from home than we would if we were in an office setting.
Oh gosh, yes, it's something that I work in the large corporate America situation, and it's something that they've all noticed too. Is that in general the employees work more in a work from home environment because you don't step away as well.
Like you don't get up for lunch. You don't. You don't get up and take your hour lunch or your 2 15-minute breaks, or you don't do anything like that. You just sit at your desk in your office at home, and your office is 5 feet away from everything at all times. 10 feet away at most. So I spend more time in that office just sitting at my computer going through work. Like, they're getting.
If you had an office, you have an office you could go to, but if you went to that office every day, you would probably consistently leave at a certain time.
Probably. I'd start my day, I'd get there at a certain time, and I'd leave it. Oh, maybe that's what I need to start doing, but...
No.
I don't know. I think we enjoy the freedoms of work, some of the benefits of working from home, but I think we both are in the same boat as we want to run our own businesses.
Yeah, I've never felt as much of an ache, or a hunger or a pull towards wanting to eventually walk away from my corporate job and take that leap of faith and do our own thing. I feel that now more than I ever have.
Yeah.
Which is a very interesting place for me to be, because I've never been that person, I was very satisfied for a very long time in my corporate career, and it's something that I'm realizing I think I want more. I want the ability to make and execute my own decisions. I want to put the time and effort into work that is going to benefit our family and really build our family life. And I also want that freedom and flexibility of being able to be our own boss and create our own schedule. And yeah, sometimes it is longer days and longer hours, but then some days you get to have a lunch date or go travel to see family and not stress out about it, or take your kid to the park in the middle of the day, or a doctor's appointment to not worry about missing work.
I mean, I've tried to take time off of work, and it's been almost impossible for me. Being in my line of work, it's 24/7. And
you don't have good continuity set up, like business continuity.
No, not at all. I mean, I've got a project manager underneath me, but that's really it. And it leaves me running the whole show, and I can't step away. I probably can, but I feel like I can't, because I feel like everything's going to implode. So I don't get to enjoy my vacations because my phone's always on. I'm constantly getting blown up from people, even though they know I'm out. It wears on you. It gets a little old because you never get to step away.
Yeah. I think when I took maternity leave with Rhett, it kind of reset my mindset.
I wonder what changed.
For me?
Yeah.
Because you noticed it too, right?
Yeah. You definitely shifted.
I think I just shifted to this space of it goes way too quick and I don't want to miss it all.
Yeah.
He's a year
old now. He grew up fat. He grew up really fast.
Yeah. But like I look back, like I went back to work right away after Enzo was born, and I blinked and Enzo was 3.
Yeah.
And I missed, I always joke like it was so great because like, his daycare potty trained him, his daycare taught him numbers and letters and his name, and I joke about that, like that's amazing, and it was amazing, but it also was me missing all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that's like one of the best things about my day. I can step away from my desk and go see my son.
Mm-hmm.
And go hang out with him for 5-10 minutes, or take him for a car ride or something like that. I think that's huge for me. I want to be able to do that with him while I can, because eventually he's going to be in school and he's going to be away a lot, a lot of the day. So we're not going to be able to spend that time together.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was a big shift for me with maternity leave, and I think just realizing that during maternity leave is when I got my real estate license and really started pushing to, we started talking about doing the podcast, and we started it, a couple months after maternity leave ended. But I think during maternity leave, we just really started to say like, hey, let's start to set the dominoes in place to eventually replace our incomes,
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of a big shift too for me.
Well, and I think it helps that you when you own your own business, you're doing your own thing, you're solely reliant on you and your abilities and who you know and what you know. And there's so much more reward, I feel like, for that than just showing up and, so to speak, punching a clock and just doing your time. It's like the monotony of it all. Because like I give you a hard time. Like I was so used to being in the field all the time. And now unless I'm traveling, I'm at my desk. Don't get me wrong, I love the fact that I work from home and I don't have to report to an office, but I get tired of sitting in a desk. I want to go out in the field. I want to be, out and about, not stuck. And I don't know, I think and that's why I'm constantly taking, Red out or taking them to Lowe's or whatever the case may be, or we're running our errands. I think that's kind of why I do that, because it gets me out of the house. But I don't know. I just feel that I'm ready to do something different.
Yeah.
And I don't mean jump to another. I don't mean to be another employee. You know what I mean?
It's interesting. It just really is. It's interesting to see that shift is happening in both of us around the same time. Like it just tells me that like we will be making that leap at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's exciting and it's nervous, like nerve-wracking, and it also feels very right.
Mm-hmm. It's going to give us a lot more opportunity, I think. Give us a lot more time with our family, the time that we're looking for. Hopefully it'll allow us to travel a little bit more. And honestly, we'll be the ones setting the pace. We'll see, we're the ones that are setting the rule. We're kind of all the rules, and it's how we're going to do it, kind of deal.
I think it's been really eye-opening after Rhett's born, and I went back to work post maternity leave. I had switched jobs recently at that point too, and I think it was just really eye-opening that I don't know if that's for me for long term. I don't think I don't want that level of micromanage.
I hate to say it, but it kind of sucks the soul out of you.
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
it's true.
It does. I'm constantly stressed, and I'm like, and that might not change with starting our own businesses, obviously, but at the same time, at least it's something that we can call ours that's worth being stressed about. I mean, you said you showed me something from TikTok that was pretty right on and spot on. That was saying that honestly, your employee or your employer doesn't care about you. They don't care about your end goals. They just
pay you just enough to keep you there.
Yep, they pay you just enough to keep you there and quiet, so you just keep trudging along. At the end of the day, they're in it to make money. So, and I think it's really important to remember that, because
and people argue like, oh, my employer cares about me, my employer does this and this, and like they do. They have to be competitive as an employer,
right?
But not necessarily like kind of what you and I are talking about. You would love the opportunity to be able to mentor with some employers you've had in the past.
Yep, and I haven't gotten that opportunity.
It's been kind of the like final, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like the perfectly little gift wrap package about like, oh hey, come under my wing at our company and work for me, and I will give you, a mentorship, and I will teach you my ways, and I'll show you
how to do this and how to be successful.
Yeah, my knowledge, and that hasn't happened. In more than one employer that you've worked with.
Yep.
And I think that that has really opened your eyes too, that I need to feverishly pursue that. I think it was like an Instagram or TikTok audio that talks about, you only have one life to live. Why are you not, chasing down your dreams like the world is on fire?
Kind of is right now.
But it's a good point about this. People have such a fear of failure and a fear of taking that risk. And I think
it's the unknown.
You and I have moved into this space of that is scary, but not as scary as it once was.
It's not as scary as living a life doing exactly what I'm doing now and feeling exactly how I feel about it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's scarier to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's like once you get to that point, you're just like, I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to see what else is out there, see what I can do on my own. People do it every day. Mm-hmm. They start businesses or, they go out, branch out on their own. They get out of their corporate jobs and high up management jobs and they go start their own thing because they're just tired of it. The monotony just wears you down.
It's like my friend I knew, apartment bartender on Instagram, Elliot. He worked like a cubicle 9-to-5 job, and one day he was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Like, my passion is photographing cocktails, like craft cocktails, and the food and beverage industry. And I enjoy photographing that. And he started this site and social media accounts called Apartment Bartender, and he went to a couple of different bars around Phoenix area asking if he could shoot some content for them for free and build his portfolio, and they agreed, and it took off, and the dude gets flown around the world
to photograph drinks,
to photograph and do lifestyle photography of different liquor, a tequila company and a sake company in Japan. He got flown to Japan to photograph how they make their sake.
It's amazing.
And to use that to tell their story on their website. You can't imagine more of I was tired of the mundane 9-to-5. I quit my job and pursued my passion, and now I'm flying around the world to do it.
Could you imagine that? Just something that you're passionate, the one thing that you're passionate about, you take that and you run with it. You take a chance on it.
Yeah.
And you've never even heard of an industry like it before, so you're almost
it's a niche.
Yeah, exactly. And you've broken that wide open, and now you are the head of that niche.
Yeah.
And you're the one that you're the forefront, the father of it. You created this, and now you're getting to do all these amazing things.
It's crazy.
Just taking a chance. I know it's a little bit more difficult for us now because we have kids, but that should be all more the reason to take those chances, And I'm like, there's so many things that me and you want to do. You have this amazing talent for design. You're really good at it.
Oh,
and it's what you should be doing.
Thanks, babe.
The real estate's one thing, but you should be designing homes. And if we can just open that up and run with that, I think we've got something. But it's all about being willing to trust in yourself and your partner and
take the risk.
Take that leap. This is the only way it's ever going to happen.
I think the things that work for our benefit is we love and adore our house, but if push came to shove, we have equity already, we could
sell it.
We could sell it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We wouldn't be upside down in it. Mm-mm. That takes a lot of weight off, knowing that worst case scenario, if we had to downsize it or something, we could.
Mm-hmm.
Different things like that definitely help out. It's just something that I feel the winds of change coming.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's time for both of us. We've been grinding it out for so long, and like you said, we only live once. It's not really what I want to do for the rest of my life, is just sit here and grind it out. I actually want to enjoy what I'm doing, take some more time for my family, not be so stressed about every move I make.
There'll be new stresses.
It'll be new stresses, but it'll be my own stresses.
Yeah.
It won't be somebody else's. Because currently I'm carrying somebody else's stresses, and it's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I'm just an employee,
I was Enzo's on spring break this week, right? And I took some days off this week, but I didn't take the full week. And I had you and a couple other people ask me, why didn't you take the full week, Bridget? I had the time available to take it. And it's because it's too challenging to try to get backup coverage and reschedule things that are already on my calendar for this week for work.
You almost feel, and the other problem is
I would have to ask other people to cover 5 hours worth of stuff.
And you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. Shouldn't feel guilty to take time off that's allotted to you. And I feel, and I'm horrible about it because every time we go on vacation, I feel guilty that I'm gone, and I never completely unwind.
Yep.
And even it doesn't matter what vacation. I'll take work calls. I'll answer emails. You know it as well as I do. I will do that when I'm on vacation, and I don't want to do that anymore.
Not if it's not for our own company.
No.
Just the way it is.
But I mean, a lot of things are going to change, and hopefully for the better for us. I think that I look forward to it. It's something that I actually am excited about in my career.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be stressful.
And you'll probably hear all about it.
Probably.
But mark this day, because this is the day that we start doing something different.
Crazy to think a year ago, Brett was a week old.
Well, that's another reason why I want to have I want us to have a legacy, is for the kids. Something if they decide one day they want to manage or take over, they can do that. Or if we want to do something as a family, that would be awesome.
So what are the businesses we want to look to get into?
Well, I know you're looking at design. We were looking at
real estate
and flipping properties.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one day doing our own semi-custom builds.
Yeah.
A lot of our stuff is construction related or real estate related.
Yep.
Because that's where we both have knowledge and knacks and passions for. We had discussed having a surf cabana down there on the beach.
Oh.
We could open up.
Yeah.
But no, mostly just real
According
estate.
to Enzo, you need to have a food truck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I gotta have a food truck for my breakfast foods.
You just make breakfast sandwiches.
I'll have 4 items that I can cook.
Right? It would probably be a freaking hit too.
Probably.
People love breakfast, and they love breakfast food trucks, and there's not that many of them.
Mm-hmm.
You just did some different types of breakfast sandwiches.
That would be more of a just for the fun of it thing.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting. It's interesting though. I sense the change coming. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but I feel.
Well, and you've already started making moves. I mean, as far as real estate's concerned, you're trying to get, in a better situation there, and we're starting to kind of straighten out our life here. It's been chaotic since we moved, but we're starting to calm down a little bit and fall into a little bit of a routine. So it'll make it a little bit easier for you to start looking at that, looking at that.
We have our nanny.
We have our nanny now. Yeah, the more I do home projects, the more I realize how much I miss actually being a part of the building, because now the building that I do is online, versus...
You should reach out to your old friend who did custom builds and be like, can I just come do some trim one day with y'all?
Right.
I need a decompressor for a day.
Right.
Knock out some, 10-inch base, call it good. Well, I think on that note, we're just going to wrap up. Keep it short and sweet today.
Appreciate you listening, and thanks everybody for listening. You can check us out at
freezermilk.com
or Instagram.
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.